In the year of 1947, the British decided to leave India, but just before they packed their bags, they had made India bleed even more by pushing it into a deadly civil war. Who would have thought at that time that just in a few decades, Indian companies would be buying and taking over the top British brands like Jaguar, Range Rover, or the famous tea brand that we know as Tetley? Who would have imagined that an Indian brand Tata would buy a steel company Corus and provide jobs to the British in their own land, but without making it a colony?
Actually, I will not be very surprised if this video will shock the international community a bit. When you hear the word India, the images that come to your mind are something like this. When the media in your country talks about India, they show you clips like this. But what they are not showing you, and what they are actually hiding from you, is that India also looks like this. Who could have thought a few decades earlier that the British government would be panicking and calling a special session of Parliament when an Indian company Tata would decide to sell their brand Corus, which would be making thousands of British jobless? Who could have thought that in just a few decades after the independence from the British, an Indian company Tata would actually become the biggest private sector employer of the UK? It took just a few decades for the Indians to show what they were capable of, and all of this was done in a complete fair business environment, not by colonizing, looting and killing as the British did. And I am not talking about just one Indian brand. Today, there are many brands and individuals from India who are creating huge business empires on the land of the UK. But Indians are not here to take any revenge or prove a point. They are just doing what they have been always good at. And that is not just yoga, Ayurveda or IT. Indians, who are the masters of spirituality, are also masters in business. Indian economy has finally gained momentum, and mind you, it has not got to the 5th gear yet. Probably it is still in the 2nd gear, but what is surprising that even in the 2nd gear, it has already become the fastest growing major economy in the world, already taking over China in that regard. And India still has so much of unutilized potential which is lying in its reserves. Now let's talk about the major industries of India. IT sector. India is the world's largest sourcing destination for the information technology industry, accounting for approximately 67% of the 124 to 130 billion US dollars market. India ranks 3rd among global startup ecosystems with more than 4,200 startups. Science and technology. India, a country which is a nuclear power, also ranks 3rd among the most attractive investment destinations for technology transactions in the world. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has completed its mission of developing India's independent navigation system by launching Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, which means India has its own version of what in the West we know as GPS. India is constantly helping